It's the 7th of the 7th, 2025. The time is 10 minutes past 10, and that means one thing. There are a couple topics on the docket today as far as F1-centric threads at which we need to pull. Front and centre amongst those, Lewis, Charles, Ferrari, chaos, ladies and gentlemen. For context, Frederic Vasseur has been under pressure for the longest time because if you are at the Tifosi, Italy's team, and you don't deliver silverware, you are bringing shame on the family name. This is Italy's team. This is Enzo Ferrari. This is legacy and heritage. This is Sir Lewis standing in front of the red car with a yellow badge and the black prancing horse atop. Unprecedented levels of engagement as far as Formula One posts are concerned. This is important, therefore important for F1 that Ferrari's gambit, Queen's sacrifice declined, Kasparov's settings in signing Sir Lewis Hamilton. A business, not a business man. This is important, this is stakes. And so, I've got to have this conversation in that context, therefore, because it wasn't great for them. And again, they promised much, right? Either one of Sir Lewis or Charles Leclerc, aka modern day Jean Alesi, could have dropped it on pole over the past couple of races. It's been chaos settings. And again, the most important point to mention is not a whiff of silverware. No race wins. Rob Smedley told you guys a gazillion occasions. Again, Felipe Massa's engineer once upon a time, well acquainted with the Ferrari circumstance, that if you win, you'll never need to buy not a drink nor a meal in Italy. If you lose, however, Houston, we have a problem. The Italians will spit at you in the street. I feel like we're more near the latter circumstance than the former as far as Scuderia Ferrari. Let me tell you what I mean. As far as the constructors, and context is key here, lest we forget Mercedes are running a championship with Kimi Antonelli in that car. A rookie, for Pete's sake. Red Bull only have Maximilian Verstappen even scoring points. Tsunoda-san hasn't scored any points for the past 4 Grand Prix, if I recall correctly. Christian Horner said once upon a time that we can't run a Constructors' Championship race on one leg. That's exactly what we're doing. And that's who Scuderia Ferrari are competing against. They have, some say, the best driver pairing on the grid in Sir Lewis, 7-time champion, Mount Rushmore, first round Hall of Fame, and Charles Leclerc. Some say that the quickest point-to-point driver on the grid. And yet, and still, there is near as makes no difference. 100% is the delta between them and Scuderia Ferrari. I make that 280. It's not even 218. 222 points is how much Ferrari have, and bloody McLaren are down the road. What are we doing, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? 238 points. The delta, therefore, the quantum between McLaren and Ferrari in the championship is more than 100% of Ferrari's points. Or lest we forget, they ended the 2024 season in Abu Dhabi 14 points adrift of McLaren. So what's changed, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Good luck, John Elkann. Good luck, Frederic Vasseur, justifying that to the board this year. A board who want to see growth, who want to see payback, and are not in substantial capital investment in one Sir Lewis Hamilton. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not good enough. Good luck justifying that, Frederic Vasseur, and continuing on as team principal of the red car with the yellow horse, the yellow badge and black prancing horse. Here's what Sir Lewis, again, courtesy of Sky Sports F1. I thought this metric was interesting. Check out Sir Lewis Hamilton's record at the British Grand Prix since 14. First, second, first, third, fourth. What are we doing? Tell me what's changed. Lewis Hamilton is 40 years old and he might have lost a step in terms of absolute pace. But fourth, this is worse than the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania, for Pete's sake. What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? The second that Sir Lewis steps in that Ferrari, he all of a sudden, the streak is broken. What are we doing here? This is chaos. Scuderia Ferrari are nowhere. And again, the car looked quick in portions, but when you hear Sir Lewis post-race, he said, I've never driven a car more difficult to manage than that red car with a yellow badge and black prancing Corsa top in the wet? Never. And Sir Lewis Hamilton has been around a while, as near as makes no difference, 20 years in F1. And then you get this, ladies and gentlemen. For the avoidance of doubt, one of Frederick Vasseurs' principal points of contention, his key thing that he needs to manage for, will be the Italian press and media. There's a phrase that comes to mind: gladiator settings. Win the crowd and you win your freedom. This was Jean Todd's lot back in 2000 2004, and he did it brilliantly. He shielded the Italian media and press and all the politics that surround Scuderia Ferrari away from his personnel. That was his gift, and that's what propelled Ferrari on to 5 championships of the driver's variety in the hands of Michael Schumacher, back to back to back. However, now it feels like the Italian press and media are rounding on Scuderia Ferrari. Don't believe me? Let me show you what I mean. This comes from Gazzetta dello Sport, and again, one of the reputable ones. For the avoidance of doubt, all F1 journalistic publications are created equally, but some are created more equal than others. Ferrari, it's time to listen to Sir Lewis, and here's why this is news. Remember, for the avoidance of doubt, that Charles Leclerc, that Ferrari's the house that he built. He's the next one, point to point, the quickest on the grid. So why not build the team around him? He's the one that's going to bring you championship. He's the young, hungry lion in his prime, therefore. So the strategic objective for Alcan, for Sir, for Ferrari more broadly, must be to build the team around him. Well, Gazzetta are saying no. Ferrari, it's time to listen to Sir Lewis Hamilton, build the car around him, because he's the champion, he's the one with the experience, he knows what good looks like, and therefore the requisite minerals to build a championship team. Here's what they say about this. This is techie. Lewis's experience, consistency is needed. Hiring Sir Lewis, who has won 7 Drivers' World Championships since 2008, while Ferrari has brought home 0 in the meantime, means accepting and therefore marrying his vision of the job and the car. Remember, season today, Lewis has complained about a couple of different things. He doesn't have the confidence. He said it's like post the Silverstone Grand Prix. He said it's like you build confidence and build confidence. You all of a sudden have the rigidity as far as the suspension at the rear, and then Ferrari and the SF25 knock you down and you're right back at square one. What's epitomised his season to date, his tenure at Scuderia Ferrari, is this. It's two steps forward even and 10 steps back. Gazzetta continues, those who want everything right away and don't know how F1 works consider their difficulties with a single-seater that is too inconsistent in its behaviour as a consequence of a decline of the champions of the past. But what the Englishman, Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton, has been preaching for a while since he framed the situation in Maranello is a change of philosophy, a changing working culture. Lest you forget, couple of races ago, Lewis Hamilton said when they were setting up Canada, I've been here a gazillion times, this is the track around which I cannot lose. I know how to set up the car, and I watched these guys in red with the yellow badge and the black prancing Corsa top, and the way they set the car up does not make sense. Lewis's words, not mine. This article continues, since he framed the situation in Maranello, what's needed is a change of philosophy, a less extreme future project with a good load base capable of making life easier for the drivers who are not bad drivers. What they're alluding to here on the Gazzetta is, of course, broadening the operating window of the car. This is not the W13 of Mercedes so many cycles ago. Porpoising settings, or at least it shouldn't be, for this is Ferrari. Although you know that Montezemolo has said right a couple of races ago that what Ferrari have been lacking for the longest time is sound leadership. This article continues, this would be a real necessity for Leclerc too, who through frustration and suffering has come to mortify himself Saturday after qualifying. Fudge, I am SH1T, said Charles Leclerc. And again, it doesn't paint a good picture, right, to the world's press and media. It feels like the red team is disarray, all at sea. to attempt to move bordering on desperation yesterday, and he wasn't good in the race either, was he? With the tyre change after reconnaissance lap in the race, always racing beyond the limits. Oh my gosh, they're killing Charles Leclerc. I didn't quite realise how just how disparaging they have been of the modern day, the one that they call the modern day journalese. Look at this. Charles Leclerc was always racing beyond the limit when the stability of the rear end comes and goes, exposes even... oh, here we go, of course. Just switch round on me, why don't you? Article. Basically, it's techier than techie things over here. You don't even need for me to read out the rest. Here we go. Exposes even clear talents like his to errors and indecision. The Monegasque may also be the most severe judge of himself, and that does him credit, but self-esteem in sport remains fundamental. Charles must be calmed down and recharged. I was talking to a good friend today about Charles Leclerc, aka modern day journalese, and as brilliant as he is, he's always been prone to a cheeky mistake of the unforced variety, hasn't he? Rewind a couple of years back to Paul Ricard. He does the impossible things and makes them easy, but the simple ones, especially when the ineptitude of Scuderia Ferrari, the red car with the yellow badge and black prancing horse atop, almost suffocates him. He can perform under pressure. When Jules Bianchi passed, he jumped back in the car and won that race weekend. Resilience isn't a question for Charles Leclerc, but can he Michael Schumacher up? Can he understand the party politics, what the team needs to be blended around him? Can he galvanise a losing Scuderia Ferrari team in the same way that Michael Schumacher did 2000 to 2004 to the net benefit of 5 championships back to back to back? If he can't, say Gazzetta dello Sport, we know a man who might be able to. There is a 7-time champion currently wearing the red overalls, one of the goatiest of all time as far as F1 peddlers, Mount Rushmore of F1, first round Hall of Fame. There is a dude who knows how to build a team, how to foster curry favour amongst race and performance engineers alike, build a car capable of winning championships. 8 Constructors championships if we're talking about most recent history over with the boys and girls from Brackley and Brixworth. That chap has a name, and that chap's name is Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton, but I digress.